Hi everyone. My name is Proxy. I'm a blockchain developer, and right on this podcast, we'll be talking about blockchain, like specifically Bitcoin and difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. And right here on this episode, I'm with my guy Millimeter.
Hi everyone, I'm Millimeter, and my actual name is Razak actually. So on today's episode, we'll be taking a deep dive into Ethereum versus Bitcoin, but not just from the angle of which coin is better, but from the mindset of a developer.
Most people lump Bitcoin and Ethereum together like it's just crypto stuff, but yeah, it's actually beyond that. So like for we developers, it is actually two different things entirely. Like one is good and the other is more like a computer. Yeah, that's it, a global computer. Or what do you think?
In this segment, we're going to the mind of developers, what it means to essentially build on each, and how they are fundamentally different from one another. You get, and we're kind of like putting it in such a way that they're not even competing with one another. They are like different concepts.
Yeah, because honestly, I think at that point when I started to, I was kind of like mixing the two together because Bitcoin is a blockchain, right?
Yes.
Then Ethereum is a blockchain. Do you understand? So, but over the time, I started to know the kind of like the difference in the two. So I think, yeah, we should just talk about that. So when we say Bitcoin versus Ethereum, like at its core, like what do we really mean? So the thing is, I see, in my own opinion, I see Bitcoin more like a calculator, right? It only does arithmetics. So for Bitcoin, actually, it's more like you are adding money, it's for payment. But when you're talking about Ethereum is more like a smartphone. So compare a smartphone to a calculator. Calculator does the arithmetics, but for a smartphone, it has the calculator in it. Then you can also run some other applications, which are the decentralized applications, like shortly known as dApps. Do you understand? So the dApps are powered by a smart contract, and anything logical going on Ethereum is powered by a smart contract written in Solidity. Solidity pass Turing test compared to Bitcoin scripting, and the smart contract run in a virtual machine. So essentially, that's my opinion about it. Or what do you think about it?
In regards to your point regarding the scripting system of Bitcoin, the way I would put it is this: like, think about it, like Bitcoin is essentially designed to be a decentralized currency, and being a decentralized currency, you think of like your sound money or peer-to-peer cash, and all like that, right? Yeah. And then when you think of Ethereum, it's more like a computer on its own, right?
Yeah, a global computer.
Exactly.
So like more like everyone is running a computer, and more like a node. So
exactly. So basically, Bitcoin is essentially built to do one thing, which is just peer-to-peer exchange of funds. Payment, exactly. And then essentially, like Ethereum is more like a global computer in which you can have different systems on it. You can run DAOs on it. You can even have other blockchain on it. So that's where all the EVM blockchain kind of like stem from.
For real, honestly, until Ethereum is interesting.
Yeah, very
in my opinion, like I like working with it because the beauty of decentralization.
Yeah, apart from what's it called, like the send swaps. Well, apart from the send and receive on EVM, everything else on EVM is more like
honestly, it's more like bytecode too. Because there was the time I spent 2 weeks studying bytecode. Honestly, 0x0x0x0x, but it's all good.
So in terms of bytecode, I think we need to just make this portraying in such a way that blockchain is not essentially all about crypto,
like moving funds. Yeah. Even Ethers, like Ethereum, is more like it's used for payment of like service. Do you understand? Like Ether, the native currency on Ethereum, it's not like it was not intended to be more used as money. Like send me this, let me convert it to naira, or let me convert it to my denomination. You get, but I feel like it has another purpose beyond payment for like swapping or bridging.
Yeah. So now you should be able to understand that when it comes to Ethereum, there's a lot of things that we can essentially do on it. I mean, we are not saying that there's a token or there's a token.
When you're talking about computers, like our own computer can do so many things now. So it is not like my own computer. I can use my computer for playing games, and I can also use it for doing other things. You understand? So I think that's where Ethereum comes in.
Typically, what does if I had to say, like, is there like a guide to how developers can build on all of these different platforms. So essentially, I would think of it like in two kind of like levels, beginner and advanced level, right? So
like, wait, how do you mean?
Like, how do you start building on Bitcoin blockchain and essentially like Ethereum blockchain, right? So I mean, since basically Bitcoin is more of like a, okay, think about it this way,
because I don't even think you can really build on on Bitcoin.
Yeah, like I want to like kind of like put it in much more relatable terms, right? Think of JavaScript in 2010. Like everyone's kind of like building on this. You understand? So that's essentially like relatable to Ethereum. You can essentially build anything you want on it. DAOs, I mean, there's like on the beginner level, there's like bunch of tutorials everywhere. MetaMask, platforms.
The kind of like Ethereum itself. You mean like they kind of like have a larger community support or materials to
due to its what's it called system like
it's the architecture.
Based on the architecture of being a computer, like a platform in which you can build on, right? So essentially, like everything Bitcoin is essentially low level.
Honestly,
like think of C language, right? Although you can build on C, but then it's very, very, very low level.
In fact, as a matter of fact, the Bitcoin scripting language is not even flexible. You know, it didn't pass Turing test, so it is just like if this then that, like straightforward. If I have 20 BTC, okay, send it to this person. If it doesn't have, but you know, when you're talking of Ethereum, the Solidity program language, pass Turing test, more logical, and can handle for loop, can handle a lot of things. And in my opinion, Ethereum has a lot of tools compared to Bitcoin. You have ETAs, you have Web3,
you have VM.
You have VM.
So awesome. I mean, everyone started out building with Web3.js and all like that. So,
it's not just like Web3.js alone. There's Web3 Py too, using Python. But Python for Web3. I'll go with JavaScript and some other program languages. In my opinion, actually.
So,
no shade strong.
How does it look like to build on this different platform, different blockchain? Well, Bitcoin is just like a simple thing, peer-to-peer, nothing big. That's the only thing you can essentially do on it. But Ethereum blockchain, you can essentially have like, as a matter of fact, I have a different blockchain on top of Ethereum itself. You can build platforms like DAOs or protocols like what's it called? Uniswap is on Ethereum, right?
Uniswap is on Ethereum. Then PancakeSwap on BSC.
PancakeSwap on BSC. Like all of these Pancakes, what's it called? BSC based Polygon, more like a fork of Ethereum itself. Right?
EVM compatible.
So that essentially makes what's it called? Like gives like utility for what you can essentially do with a computer like Ethereum itself as a whole.
And I think programmatically, the only thing I've done with Bitcoin is just like initiating transactions, like
send and receive.
That's all. Nothing more.
Nothing more. I mean, when it comes to integrations, I mean, I had a little bit of issue when I was starting out with doing a couple of transactions on Bitcoin.
Oh, the one you told me about that used like $300 to send $2.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's crazy, honestly.
Exactly. And the way it's kind of like same is like, you know, the fee on these different blockchain are kind of due to its high usage.
Ethereum, like a lot of people, like Ethereum has a lot of population, so, and you know, miners are hungry, so that's why the gas fee on Ethereum is very, very high. A lot of people are using it for different use cases. Do you get to? And of course.
So if you are trying to build on Ethereum, there are so many tools that you can use. You can, if you are like using like from a platform like JavaScript environment and all like that, there is ETAs.js, there is VM, there is Web3.js, there is, I mean, well, if you are trying to build but
I think Web3.js is deprecated already.
Definitely.
So
in the kind of like the latest news or stuff like that. I mean, it's kind of like gave me like, oh wow, there was a time I was using Web3.js.
But then Ethereum is just so interesting, honestly, because running your backend more like in a decentralized way. So you're running everything in your computer. AWS is Web 2, right? So, and you know, you host computers on all these servers like AWS, stuff like that. So it's just like doing the same on Ethereum. So, and on Ethereum, there's nothing like, it is immutable. Like, if you've deployed it, that's the end of it. It's not like, I need to change my credentials. Let me just edit my code. No, you have to redeploy. Like, you have to redeploy another contract, like, because it is backed by contract, right? So, once you deploy a contract, that's the end of it. If you need to change or modify any data in the contract, you have to redeploy. And that's it.
So in order for you to, on an advanced level, instead of doing the integrations that is already available on Ethereum itself, if you are trying to build on Ethereum, as a matter of fact, you can essentially use languages like Solidity to write your own smart contract and make your own rules. The way Ethereum as a computer allows you to do things is that you can essentially rephrase your own form of blockchain. Like, if this is date, then do that. So that is essentially how Ethereum makes it easy as a platform or as a computer for people to use, build on it.
Yeah. Ethereum gave any children, one of which is Toronet. So it's EVM compared
now is a feeless blockchain. On Ethereum, a fork of Ethereum itself. So when it comes to Toronet blockchain, as a matter of fact, it's on EVM too, which is like Ethereum virtual machine, right? When we say like Ethereum virtual machine, it's just like this laptop, or it's kind of like in more of a cloud space. So Bitcoin, Base, Polygon, they're all they are all on the EVM blockchain, so you can have your own machine differently. So Toronet, as a matter of fact, have its own version of EVM itself, like more of a system on its own.
Yeah, and another thing I like about Toronet as an EVM blockchain is the fact that it's giving this Web3 form of fintech vibe. Because in Nigeria, basically almost everyone is building fintech. They use Paystack, you get it, bro.
So Toronet, you can essentially have a fintech on blockchain.
Of course now, sure. Because left to me, like fintech, like let's go Web3 way.
On Toronet, you can essentially have your Naira and then basically perform a transaction, and it's entirely minted on the blockchain.
Honestly,
so that's that. Like, if you think about it,
like, and it is easy to on-ramp and off-ramp on Toronet.
Exactly. So they have partnership with a couple of commercial banks that allows them to mint on the blockchain. Like, imagine you have your physical Naira, your fiat currency, and then you're essentially putting it on the blockchain instantly. No peer-to-peer, no nothing. And then thinking, and also, I'm not trying to say this blockchain is the best kind of stuff, right? But then it's all about the usefulness and the utility. When something is good, you say it is good. So in our own case, when you think about blockchain, as a matter of fact, Ethereum, with how we have portrayed it and explained it to you as it is a computer, we are able to have systems like this on it. And it's not like you say that this blockchain is built from Ethereum, it's built from Bitcoin. We can't have that, because Bitcoin is essentially a form of exchange, peer-to-peer, and just the same.
Like a payment blockchain. So Bitcoin is the first blockchain, right?
Yeah.
So blockchain came into existence just to solve a particular problem, which is double spending. You understand? So Bitcoin was actually built to solve that problem, like blockchain. So, but Bitcoin being the first was used as a payment system just to eradicate the double spending. So I think Gavin Woods then orchestrated another approach to blockchain. Like, okay, let's make it more flexible. Let's build this into computers. So that's where Ethereum came in.
Yes, and thanks to Ethereum, we've been able to have like 1 million protocols and anything that you can essentially build. Think of something, know how to write Solidity on an advanced level, and you can essentially build anything you want on Ethereum have your own fork.
In the end, Bitcoin and Ethereum are solving different problems. Bitcoin is the foundation, a secure, decentralized, monetary base layer, and Ethereum is the frontier. It is where the apps, the experiments, and the future of Web3 are being built.
For developers, Ethereum isn't just a blockchain. It's a platform of endless possibilities. It's not about which is better. It's about understanding that they offer different things.
More like purpose.
Yeah,
great. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, expect more from us, and in our next session we'll be taking a much more deeper dive into how to build on Web3 and how to, everyone cares about making money, so how do we make money from Web3 essentially?
Yeah.
Either from development or actually being into any other different field on Web3.
Yeah. So don't forget to turn on your post notification. Thanks.
We're active